Good morning, Borodar. How are we? Welcome to our Tai Chi movement for well-being. So I call it something slightly different on the title. There's a reason for it. But what a morning it is. I had to shut the blind earlier because you couldn't actually see me in this room. So it's a magical morning. You can see blue sky, sunshine, spring is on its way. So what better way to start the morning than with a little bit of quiet breathing and flow. So that's what we're going to aim for today. So I'm hoping you're feeling well. Obviously, if you've got any sort of a fever, if you have got any sort of viral-like symptoms, today is not your day. But if you're feeling okay, then join me. You might want to make sure you've got a drink with you. You might also need to make sure you've got a safe space to operate in. So I tend to do the sequence with no shoes on. You can do it with shoes on though, it's not a problem at all. If you've got socks on, just be careful of the surface you're on because sometimes it can be very slippery. So just make sure that whatever you've got on isn't going to slide and slip. And then we're just going to see if we can bring these arms around because it's amazing how much sort of movement we actually bring into this. So have a little, just check that there's nothing you're going to knock over. And then we're going to play around with this foot position. So we're going to take those feet a little bit wider. We're going to come back so those feet are a little bit narrower. And we're going to play with this foot position. We're going to play with this foot position wider, narrower, till we feel that we've got that sense of a base that's just underneath our hips. We can check down once we think we're there and make any adjustments we think are necessary. But once we're there, let's think about standing within ourselves. So thinking about softening the face, shoulders, softening that spine, softening that tailbone. And we're going to take these hands onto that abdominal area and we're going to think about the spine. So once the hands are here, we're going to allow our thoughts to move into the spine and we're going to imagine this force, this little bead of light traveling up the spine, lengthening as it goes, and it's going to come all the way through the neck, all the way up to the crown of the head. So we're going to find that alignment of the head that feels right. There's no tension in the neck and shoulders. And then we're going to take that little bead of light and it's going to track that spine all the way down to the tailbone. And at the tailbone, it's going to pause and it's going to collect any tension that might be there. And then it's going to just allow that tension to almost slide down that imaginary tail all the way down to the floor. And then once we're there, we can soften those knees a little bit. You know, rub these hands together. Rub the palms together. Create some friction. And then place those hands over that face. Allow that head to rest in those hands. And then, again, creating that friction, noticing the skin of the hands. How does it feel? And as we let that head rest in those hands, notice how the skin of the face feels to the fingertips, to the thumb. Notice that breath out. And one last time. Bringing yourself into the hands and allowing yourself to rest, to let go, to be yourself in this safe space. And then when we take those hands away, we're going to bring ourselves into that self-massage. So I like to use this gentle fingertip tapping. It's almost coming from the elbow. Nice and light. Let those fingertips dance over that head. Your body will tell you where it wants you to go. Sometimes it directs you. Keep thinking, well, why does it want me to go there? And I always think, well, maybe that's where you need it. All over this skull. And then relaxing that head. You can take either those fingertips or that light fist to the neck and to that shoulder. So you can support this arm if you need to. And we're going to pay particular attention to these shoulders today. Carrying a lot of tension at the moment. Well, mine are. And we're going to take this form of massage down the outside of the arm. Now, how is that feeling? Really think about it. Is it hurting you? Are you keen to rush it? Do we need to make it a little bit more gentle? Does it need to be a bit more energetic? I usually feel I need a bit more gentleness on a Monday morning. And then relaxing those arms. We'll do the same on the other side. And again, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to my shoulders, to my neck. Just then bring that to the arm. How floppy can you make that wrist that's doing the tapping, the massaging? And then covering the front of this body. And again, paying more attention to the areas that you feel are a little bit more vulnerable. Maybe you sometimes lots of chest infections. Maybe the chest and the lungs is where you need to concentrate. Maybe the abdominal area, maybe digestive system. So find where you feel you need it most. It may just be all over. And then we're going to take it to the lower back. And again, just paying attention to those areas you think need it most. Down that bottom, back to the thighs. But only going down as far as you feel comfortable. Coming back up the inside. And really paying attention to where your body tells you to go today. So I know I used to be able to go a little bit lower, but that's okay. There's no point forcing it. Just let the body find its own way. Good. Can't live in the past, just in the now. And then finally down the front. Bending those knees if you've got any issues with that lower back. And then coming back up, shaking those legs out a little bit, shaking those feet out. We know the one sort of thing that does happen is these feet are quite static. So if you do need to move them in the sequence, don't be frightened to. That's the beauty of doing this at home, is that you can adjust without fearing that you're disturbing someone else. So back to that lovely long spine. Shoulders soft, face is soft. And then just allowing that weight to settle, to sink. There's a very slight softening of the knees. And then we're going to come back to that position, that connection with your center. And we're going to breathe in. We're going to breathe out. And on your next breath out, we're going to allow those hands to expand from this center into that circle. So there's that connection, the palms to your center. Chest is open. And then when you feel ready, diagonal repatterning. From this center, that palm reaching that opposite foot. Is that folding at the hips. We're going to do 5 movements in each section. Generally breathing out as we move away from center, but not worrying about this breathing. The wonderful thing about this sequence, there's no wrong. Lots of rights. We can refine things. But at the end of the day, it's your connection to your breathing, to your body, bringing yourself back to you. So there's that connection with the feet, just sinking down to that floor. Shoulders are soft. There's that breath out, that breath in. And then we're going to practice that folding at the hips a little bit. So we're going to take the weight into one foot, one leg, and then the other. And I'm going to show you from this angle. We're going to be careful of that tail sticking straight out behind us. So imagining that long tail just hanging down towards the heels. And it's that precursor to 2 dragons wrapping. And then we're going to just let those arms become floppy. So the movement initiating in the legs and then moving up the spine, through the shoulders, into the arms. And we're going to let that head relax, that neck to relax, arms. They're just almost like those, when you stuff those tights with the bits of cushioning. There's nothing there, no tension there. Just swinging them around. And as the legs stop, the arms taking a little bit of time to come back. And from that center, as we open, allowing those knees to soften, that tail to rest on the floor behind the heel. You can sense that connection to your center through the palms of your hands. And we're going to open up that left side of the body and then come back to center with those shoulders soft. So with both feet firmly on the floor, opening up that right side of the body. And then without moving those hips, just opening up that lower back, lifting that chest, coming back, and then gently lifting that chest, expanding that abdominal area. Then putting those movements together, opening up that left side, just rolling down, opening up that lower back, opening up that right side, opening up that abdominal area. So as we roll forwards, we're breathing out as we roll up and over, breathing in. This is our vital organ warm-up. You can feel muscles, these deep muscles in the trunk moving as the spine circles, as this chest circles. Breath in, breath out, and then we're going to change direction. So if this feels odd, we're just going to make these movements a little bit smaller. I'm going to show you from a slightly different angle. So that tailbone is relaxed. That tail hanging down towards those heels. It's actually gently resting on the floor And as we lift that chest, there's no movement in that tail, in that pelvis. And when we come forwards, when we open up that lower back again, there's no movement in that tail. Everything is still below the band of that trousers. And then allowing those arms to settle, feeling those feet connected to the floor. We're going to fly like wild geese. There's a tiniest little knee bend. And then we're going to push those feet down into the floor, straighten those legs. Breathe in, breathe out. So those helium balloons underneath each elbow. The movement starting in the ground, moving up through the legs, through the trunk, to the shoulders, all the way through those arms to the fingertips, and then down. There's grace, flow. You're thinking about your breath. You're not trying too hard. Filling those lungs. As that breath comes out, emptying those lungs. Heaven and earth, still thinking about that breathing. Circles. It's as if I'm lifting those wrists up and back. Your hand over, allowing those hands to become almost floppy. Those palms, allowing any tension in that back. Just allowing those palms to gently push it down that spine all the way down to that tail. Breathing in, breathing out, and then open to the day. From that center, that opening up, using that soft limit, using that sense of mirroring. Let the left side mirror the right. Let the weak side lead the strong side. Breathe in. So much easier to do this on a day where the sunlight is streaming through the windows, this blue sky, welcoming in this day. Let's open to this day. Let's greet whatever's going to come our way head on. Let's face it. And then we're going to sweep down. Breathe in, flexing the sky. So we can make these circles smaller. Remember that soft limit. It's your circle. Don't have to touch the knee. Just letting those palms find each other again. Using those legs to push up, part any clouds. Breathing in. Now as we breathe out, we're going to reverse this move. Palms facing up. Breathing in. Breathing out. So those heels stay down. Maybe needing to take the arms wider rather than behind you. Feel that connection between your feet and the floor. One more. Coming back to that center. Allowing that spine to lengthen. And as we form that circle, allowing those knees to gently come off lock. Gazing at the moon with one hand. Taking that weight through that left leg. Gazing over that shoulder. Wondering what we might see. Taking our time so that we don't miss anything. New buds, new signs of spring. Let's try it with two hands. Coming back to that center. Coming back. Taking our natural step. So we're going to turn this foot on its heel, just gently away from center. And as it turns, we're going to turn these hips in the direction of that big toe. And then we're going to take the weight onto this foot and we're going to gently step out with the heel of this foot and then bring that ball of the foot and the toes down. So once we're here, we're in that natural step. We're going to allow those hips to face forwards. So now in line with that front toe. You find that long spine. Just practice that weight transfer. Make sure you feel comfortable. Just in that foot position if you need to. And then from this center, just expanding your circle, placing that tail down. You're going to bring the weight into this front foot. And we're almost opening up this circle. Breathing in. So we're breathing out as we take the weight into that front foot. Breathing in. Here am I. And then drawing this foot back, turning in. We're going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to set us up and then I'm going to turn my back to you. So we're going to turn those hips in line with that toe that's turned out. We're going to place this heel, just step out. And then I'm going to see if we can move those hips so they're facing forwards. And then from that center, just soften those knees, find that circle. And then that gentle weight transfer from the back foot to the front foot. I'm going to breathe in. Breathe out. without leaning, without reaching too far forwards. Just clearing this space around us, clearing all that rain and cloud, making space for the sunshine and the blue sky, making space for the positive. And then I was going to turn around and I forgot. Now, again, standing within yourself, from that center, we're going to expand, soften those knees, just take them off lock. It's not a full-on bend, it's just gently sinking down. And we're going to see if we can allow those palms to recognize one another. If they do, or if they don't, we're just going to expand on this connection. We're going to place that right hand over the left. So there's that connection again with this center. And then drawing this right hand, the left will follow. We're going to wave hands like clouds. Always finding that connection with each other, with the abdominal area. Breathing out. Breathing in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Breath in. 5 elements. Breathing in. Just one more time. Noticing that breath out, that breath in, that breath out. Now a circle of well-being. So we're going to draw this circle, being mindful of that soft limit. Noticing that weight transfer from right through to left. Drawing this circle, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we're going to change direction. Taking that breath out. Drawing this line of well-being around yourself. Making that circle smaller if you need to. Making it your circle. Breath in. Breath out. And then coming down. Returning to center. Following the hands back to you. breath in. Breath out as you find that connection with that center. Connection, feet on the floor, soft face, soft shoulders. And now we're just going to relax those hands, shoulders, face. Listen for any sounds, signs. Bring yourself gently back into the room. Now I'm going to just check my internet connection downstairs. I shall be back in 2 minutes and we'll return to the sequence. So I'm going to go and check my connection downstairs. I'm not sure if that was a bit wobbly. I know what's happened. I'll be about 1 minute and then we'll run through the connection again. I'm back. My apologies, friends. There was a bit of instability there. My husband doesn't believe me that if the dining room door is shut, there's no internet for the rest of the house. It's an ongoing battle. But I'm hoping you enjoyed that first sequence. I love being with you. I'm really hoping you didn't have too much interruption. So if there's anything that you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure, just relax, let it go. Feel those feet on the floor. So that's where we're going to ground. That's where we're going to balance. If you're sitting, feel those sitting bones on the chair. Bring yourself back into that long spine. Soften those knees. Let's rub these hands together. So you may notice real connection after that first movement sequence. Just for one time, place those hands over the face. Take that breath in. Take that breath out. Soften the shoulders. And let's come back to that self-massage. Remembering it feels odd sometimes to be constantly drawing your thoughts to the body, to your breathing. It's totally normal for these thoughts to just move into something different, things that are going on. So as we take this tapping to the neck and the shoulders, we're going to practice in this sequence what happens when we get disrupted. What happens when we notice suddenly we're thinking about what's in the fridge rather than how our body's feeling. And we're going to let those thoughts just slide away. We're not going to get annoyed. The door opens and the dog barks or someone shouts. and sort of ruins the moment, we're going to allow that frustration or those thoughts to slide away. We're going to let them go, just as if they were water flowing down a river. Just let them slide away and bring yourself gently back. Think about those feet on the floor, the breathing, the flow. So we're going to come down the backs of those legs. So usually feels a little bit easier this time round. Maybe not. Hasn't for the last few weeks, but who knows? Each go is a new journey. And finally down the fronts of these thighs. Always back up the inside. Let's shake those feet, shake those legs out a little bit, even if they don't want to go. Make sure you feel comfortable. Think about that long spine. And then find that center. As we expand that circle, soften those knees. Stand within yourself. And then when you feel ready, diagonal repatterning. Always coming back to that center. Grounded. That connection to your center. It's centered within you. Thinking about that breath out, breath in. Letting those arms relax as we take that weight transfer. Remember that tail on the floor. It's as if become almost static, like a pole. We're rotating around that pole, just letting that tension from the neck and the shoulders, from the thoughts, just fly out of these arms. And when the legs stop, the arms take a little bit of time. How long do they actually take? And then again, with those legs straight, taking them off lock. As the hands expand into this circle. Opening up that left side of the body, that lower back. It's that vital organ warm up. As if we're circling this rib cage. Breathing in as we lengthen. Breathing out. And if this fiery ball was real, it would be rolling over that chest. And then this chest would be pressing it down into those lower abdominals, changing direction. And then it rolls away and everything springs back into shape. It's that little massage of our very own, of all those organs in that digestive system. Breathing out. And from that floor, flying like wild geese, breath rises up and falls. That lovely long spine. As if this movement comes from that floor. There's that energy as we push those feet down. Legs lengthen. As we breathe out, softening at the knees. Not a big movement. Heaven and earth, circles. Let your breath guide you. Find that flow. Open. Soften that face. Soften that neck. Shoulders. Begin to flex the sky. Sweeping down. Palms meet and then part. It's this open movement as we rise up and breathe in. Opening up to those endless possibilities that this day can bring. And then rowing that boat. New buds emerging from the ground. Leaves starting to appear. Spring. And then gazing at the moon. Again with that tail down. Breathing out. So our natural step, I'm going to turn around just to make it slightly different, just in case it's hard to follow. I'm going to check my feet. Yeah, they're there. So we're going to turn this foot just gently away from center. Allow these hips. And then stepping out with this heel. So if we step too far, we're going to be off balance. So just placing that heel down, allowing that foot. Those hips are facing forwards, and then we're going to allow that tail to settle behind the heel. Now weight into that front foot, opening up this circle. Here am I. You feel balanced. That made me jump out of my skin. I'm so sorry. We shall change legs. I hope it didn't make you jump out of your skin. I suspect it might have done. We'll start that one again. So, coming back, remembering the distraction, turning that foot out, hips turned into that second toe, and then stepping out with that heel And then we're going to turn those hips to face forwards. Tail is down. Taking that tension out of that lower back, that tailbone, from this center. Breathing in. Just breathing out through those arms, into those fingertips. And then changing that leading foot. So when we come back, ideally we're looking about, if you come back quite narrow, like I just did, it probably was a bit narrow in my natural step. So I'm going to make that effort to turn those hips, step out with that heel, ball of the foot, and then allow those hips to face forwards. Breathing in and breathing out. And then sliding that foot back. Waving hands like clouds. From that connection with that belly, we're going to place that tail down, soften those knees, bring that right hand over the left so the palms are facing you. There's 5 elements. As we breathe in, think about that sun. And again, growth, buds, leaves. Think about how spring makes us feel lighter days, warmer weather, sunshine, blue sky. Take one more. Just imagine we're outside, feeling that sun on your face. You can hear the birds. And then that circle of well-being. There's that weight transfer through that right foot, through to left, left, through to right. And then change in direction, allowing that tail just to rest behind the heels, not allowing it to stick up behind you. As we circle this shimmering line around ourselves. It's an energetic line. It's going to feed us all day. And then we're going to take that return to center. Take that breath in. Breath out. And then just gently bringing yourself back rather than the rude awakening, which was the dog bark. Ah. I'm just laughing at Agnes's little pictures. Brilliant. How are you there, my friend? So I was just doing a little shake of those shoulders, hoping you're feeling okay after that, hoping the dog didn't send you into a spiral of but yeah, if ever that was a lesson in having to come back into that relaxed state after being shocked into submission, then that was it. But I really enjoyed my session with you today. Really great. If you've got any questions or anything you would like some help with, just actually feeling that sequence a little bit more, please get in touch. But thank you for joining me. And I know some of you join me live, some of you join me later on. Whatever it is, I hope you make the most of the sun today if you can. And just float around and enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much for being with me. Bye-bye.